Hello students, in my previous lectures I have told you about order pairs. What is an order pair? What is Cartesian product of two sets and relation from one set to another set. Then types of relations like many one relation, one many relation and one relations from a set A to a set B. Okay, we are acquainted with the relations from one set to another set. Today we will discuss about the relation defined on a set. Relation on a set. What does it mean? Relation on a set means it is a relation from a set to itself. That means if A is any set, then if A is a non-empty set, then any relation F from A to A is called a relation on A. It is called a relation on A. That means F is a subset, that is F is a subset of A Cartesian product A. From the definition of relation, we know that if F is a subset of A Cartesian product B, then it is a relation from A to B. Here F is a subset of A Cartesian product A. Very simple. It is a subset of A Cartesian product A. So it is a relation from A to A. That means it is a relation on A. Okay. Suppose we will take an example. Let A is equal to A, B, C. A, B, C. Then what is A Cartesian? Then A Cartesian product A will be what? First we can write it inside Wheeler form. That is XY, the set of order pairs XY, such that X belongs to A and Y also belongs to A. Here both the order pair, both the elements of the order pair are elements of A only. So what will be in this case? It will be what? It will be A, B, sorry, AB, AC, BA, BB, BC, right? Then CA, CB, CC. See, A has three elements. A Cartesian product A will have 3 into 3. That is 9 number of elements. You see, there are 9 number of elements: AP, SC, BA, BB, BC, CA, CB, CC. 9 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this is our A Cartesian product A. Yes. Any subset of these will be a relation from A to A, or it is a relation defined on A. Suppose, so what will be the relations? How many number of relations will be there? Yes, the number of possible subsets of A Cartesian product A. What is that number? Now it is the cardinality of the power set, that is 2 to the power 9. 2 to the power 9 number of relations can be developed from A to A, but it is defined on A. Suppose, let us take some examples of relations on A. Let F1 F1 is equal to AB BC CA. Yes, this is a relation. F2 AB. Yes, this is also a relation. F3 null set. This is also a relation. F4 BB CC is arbitrary. You can write any subset of this. Any subset of this. In this way, you can write 2 to the power 9 number of relations defined on it. Right? Okay. So what will be the smallest relation? Yes, in case of relation from A to B, we have already know the smallest relation from A to B is null set. Here also the smallest relation is, or the smallest relation on a set A is the null set, and the largest relation, that means the largest subset of A Cartesian product A, the largest relation on A is A Cartesian product A. It is empty relation, we know it, empty relation, and here it is the universal relation. Universal relation on A. It is the universal relation on A. Okay, this is the smallest one, this is the largest one, which are called the trivial relations. Obviously, if a Cartesian product A is a set, its natural subsets are null set and A Cartesian product A. Obviously, one can say that, blindly one can say that null set is a subset of A Cartesian product A. A Cartesian product A itself is a subset of A Cartesian product A, because we know that null set is the subset of every set, and a set itself is a subset of the same set A. Okay, so this is the smallest relation, this is the largest relation. Okay, now we will discuss some special types of relations, some special relations defined on A, very important. This is in your syllabus. Types of relations on a set A. First one is reflexive relation. Reflexive relation. What do you mean by reflexive relation? A relation F defined on a set A, defined on a non-empty set A, will be reflexive if x belongs to F, for all x belongs to A. Yes, this is for all. This sign represents for all, means for all elements. Yes, x belongs to F, for all x belongs to A. This is very important to understand. What does it mean, this statement? X belongs, that means x is related to x. X is related to x for all x belongs to A. Yes, okay. That means for all means each and every element of A will be related to A itself. each and every element of A will be related to A itself. Okay. Now you see when it will not be reflexive. This is very important. A relation, this is a relation. If it satisfies this condition, then it will be reflexive. If it does not satisfy this condition, then it is not reflexive. When it will not satisfy this condition? Yes. What is the negation of this statement? Here the statement is this: x is related to x if x is related to x for all x belongs to A. When it will be false? Yes. What will be its negation? That means if there exists at least for all, its negation will be there exists at least one x in A. At least one x in A which is not related to A x itself. Then it is not. That means, let us write here. This is very important. F is not reflexive on A if x does not belong to F for at least one x belongs to A. At least one x belongs to A. F is not related to x is not related to x for at least one x belongs to A. Okay. Suppose we'll take an example. So, say our set A was A, B, C, right? And perhaps F1 was AB, BC, and CA. You see, it is not reflexive. It is not reflexive. Why? Because A has three elements A, B, C, but none of them is related to itself. A is not related to A itself. A is not there. Similarly, B is not there. Similarly, C is not there. We have told that if at least one element is not related to itself, then it is not reflexive. But here, no element of A is related to itself. So, it is not reflexive. F1 is not reflexive. F1 is not reflexive on A. Suppose I will take another example. G1. I will take A, B. Is it reflexive on A? G1? No. It is not reflexive on A. Why? Because you see, A is related to A, B is also related to B, but C is not related to C. C is not there. Very clear. A is there, B is there, but C is not there. So it is not reflexive on A. If G1 is not reflexive on A. Suppose I will take another set G2. A, B, C. Okay. Now you see it is reflexive. Why? We have three elements A, B, C. Our definition says that if x is related to x for all x belongs to A, then it will be reflexive. Here the elements of A are A, B and C. A is related to A, B is also related to B, C is also related to C. So G2 is reflexive on A. Students, mathematics is very simple, very simple. Why? Because you cannot decide yourself. You will decide according to definitions, according to hypothesis, like this. So that is why it is very simple. Our definition says that if x is related to x for all x belongs to A, then blindly you can say that it is reflexive on A. Here all the elements are related to themselves. A is related to A, B is related to B, C is also related to C. So it is reflexive on A. Let us take another example, another relation, that is G3. Suppose it is AA, BB, CC, SC. Another. Yes. It is also reflexive on A. Students say that sir, AC is there, so it is not reflexive because X is related to X. No. Nowhere it is told that except all the elements, no other element will be there. Like A is related to A, B is related to B, C is related to C, but there is no restriction in the definition for another order pair A, C or any other order pair, possibly an element of A Cartesian product A. No restriction. So we will see that whether these are there or not. Yes. If they are in the relation, then it must be reflexive. So it is also reflexive on A. G3 is reflexive on A. Right? Okay. Anyway, is it clear that what is a reflexive relation? Yes. If A has three elements, we will see whether A is related to A or not, B is not related to A, B or not, C is related to C or not. All the elements we have to test whether they are related to themselves or not. If we will find at least one element in A which is not related to itself, then we say like this. We say that it is not reflexive on A. Okay, this is about your reflexive relation. Then symmetry. Symmetric relation. Symmetric relation. Symmetry. Symmetry means balanced. A relation F defined on a set A is said to be symmetric if for x, y belongs to A, x, y belongs to A, F implies y, x belongs to F. See, there is an implication. But it says that for x, y belongs to A, if x and y are two elements in A, and x is related to y, then y must be related to x, otherwise it is not symmetric, right? X, y belongs to F implies y, x belongs to. What is an implication? P implies Q. You have read it in first year, in 11th class or first year, etc. Okay. P implies Q. What is an implication? Implication means, P implies Q means what it says? It gives us two messages. One is that if P is true, then Q must be true. Suppose written P implies Q, and you know that P is true, then you can conclude that Q must be true. Or if Q is false, then P must be false. Because in logic, in mathematical reasoning, we know that a conditional statement is false when the hypothesis is true and the conclusion is false. So it is an implication, means this is true and this is false. This is not possible. This is impossible, because it is an implication, means the conditional statement must be a tautology. Anyway, simply remember, if P implies Q, means if P is true, Q must be true. If XY belongs to F, then YX belongs to F. That means if X is related to Y, then Y must be related to X. So when it is not symmetric, if it will not satisfy this condition, and note it, F is not symmetric on A if for XY belongs to belongs to A, such that if there exists, negative sense we have written, if there exists X, Y belongs to A, such that X, Y belongs to F and Y, X does not belong to F. If we will find one such example where X is related to Y but Y is not related to X, then it is not symmetric. At least one example, such example, then we say that it is not symmetric. Okay, let us take example so that it will be clear. Yes, when it will be symmetric, if X is related to Y implies Y is related to X. When it is not symmetric, if we will find one such example where X is related to Y but Y is not related to X. This is a process. This is called to search for a counter example. Counter example where X is related to Y but Y is not related to X. Okay, let us see. Suppose our set is same A, B, C. Suppose H is equal to AB, right? Here A is related to B. It is a subset of A Cartesian product B, so it is a relation from A to A. But it is a relation defined on A, okay? But it is not symmetric. Why? H is not symmetric on A because AB belongs to H but BA does not belong to H. H is related to B but B is not related to A. Simply, suppose H1, it's H1. H2 will take AA, BB. Yes, is it symmetric? Yes, it is symmetric on A. It is symmetric. It is symmetric on A. Why? Because we are unable to find such an example where X is related to Y but Y is not related to X. Can you find? No. It is not possible to find such an example to counter the statement, to counter the definition. Okay. Next, S3. Suppose we will take AB, BA, AA, SC. Yes, students say that AB is there, BA is there, XY is there, YX is there, so it is symmetric. This is, yes, it may be correct, but you see there is another element. AC. A is related to C, but C is not related to A. So it is not symmetric on A. It's not symmetric on A as AC belongs to H3 and but CA does not belong to H3. Okay. Now we are able to find such an example in the relation where A is related to C but C is not related to A. So it is not symmetric on A. This is about the reflexive and symmetric relation. Okay. Yes. In the next lecture we will read what is a transitive relation and an equivalence relation. Okay. Bye.